Hey everybody, Chris Niosi here, voice of the new star of the paranormal world, Reigen Arataka. And as a little gift to you all, myself and a few cast members of the Mob Psycho 100 English dub have come together to record a few audio commentary tracks for some episodes of the series. This one is for episode 1, self-proclaimed psychic Reigen Arataka and Mob, and it features yours truly as well as Kyle McCarley, the voice of Mob. If you hopefully picked up your copy of the Mob Psycho 100 Blu-ray DVD set, line up your cursor to select the corresponding episode on the main menu. I'm going to count down with a 3, 2, 1, play, and in sync with when I say the word play, hit the button to start it up. Get ready, and we hope you enjoy. 3, 2, 1, play.
It's happening. We're doing this.
We're watching the thing.
We're doing. My God, I still remember the first time I saw this. I was like, oh, we're in for something special on this show.
Yeah.
I'm still not entirely sure quite what it is. If it's like, is this a dream? Is this a thing that will happen eventually? I don't know. But either way,
yeah, this opening sequence here.
But it's incredible
Yeah.
to look at. Hi everybody, welcome.
Hi.
Welcome to the semi-unofficial but still just official enough Mob Psycho 100 English dub commentary. I am Chris Niosi, the voice of Reigen Arataka, the new star of the paranormal world, as he identifies himself. And I'm joined by my lovely son.
Hi there. My name is Mob. I mean Shigeo. Actually, Kyle McCarley.
Oh, okay.
Is my voice.
Well, you're doing a splendid job right now of not saying a word, but kicking all sorts of ass.
Thank you. That was one of the things that intrigued me about doing this show was like we would do. Mob doesn't make any noises when he fights.
No. Like
almost ever. We would do the build up to the fight, and then we'd skip ahead after the fight and do what was. And I'd be like, wait, can we? I've seen the show, but can we go back and just so I know what happened there?
You cut like 5 minutes later. It's like, okay, yeah, he's kicked all sorts of ass, and everybody's been defeated, and you're fine. You didn't have a single sound effect to make or anything, which is, quite nice on the throat. It's unusual for anime.
Yeah.
So we're recording and that's the title of the show in case you missed that.
Of the show.
So we're recording this just to kind of set the time frame for this. Oh, actually, first of all, major shout out to the lovely and talented Mike Sorich, who is our narrator, as well as the voice of Dimple, who will be showing up in a couple episodes. So we're recording this in the holiday of 2018, and it's now been well over a year already that we started recording on the show.
Since we started,
to begin with. Yeah, it was right around. It was just before Thanksgiving, 2016. Mm-hmm. Hey, there's the man. There he is.
There's that guy.
And there she is. She's having a bad day.
She's beautiful.
Yes, she is. She has a wonderful boyfriend who loves her, and she's got me to screw her over.
Who's not in the there's the establishing shot, and it's just the two of them.
And then you
see the room, and he just appears.
And Taro's just like, I'm here too. It's like, oh
yeah.
He's so handsome. Good God. I guess to start off with, it's been quite a while. We've been through so much and done 10,000 different things in the last year alone, which is quite nice.
Oh yeah.
But do you remember? I wanted to start with you first. I've already been talking for a billion years, but any particular kind of early memories of like when the show was first coming down the pipe and like the auditions and everything?
See, there he is. He just magically appears.
I like his apple-shaped
hair
too. No, it's okay.
You were asking a question.
Yes.
I was distracted by the show.
Early days memories of leading up to like before we were doing the show and all that. Because you knew of it already too.
Yeah. Well, I didn't. When I did the audition, I didn't know anything about it. Mm-hmm. But looking at the artwork, I was like, "Ooh, this looks like another One Punch Man."
And lo and behold, same creator.
Yeah. So I was like, "This could be big. I want to be part of this." And then and then I watched the first episode before I did the audition, which I've learned since then don't do that.
Yeah, I can't do that anymore.
No, because then you get too attached. But it worked out okay for this one because I did end up booking the job. But
so did you only audition for Mob, or did you read for any other characters?
No, I read for Mob. I read for Reigen.
Oh, okay.
I read for
Ritsu,
and I read for Teru.
Oh my God. So you had a shot at all the main
Yeah,
guys then.
yeah, the whole, yeah.
And you had done some stuff on One Punch Man as well, right? Some little...
Yeah, incidentals.
Okay.
Like, I think it was an hour-long session,
Right.
maybe.
Yeah, I was not so fortunate. I did read for all the major characters on One Punch Man. I missed out, and I was like, it's okay. And then actually, I'll go ahead and say this, and I'm going to out myself. I watched One Punch Man, and I was like, And all of my friends who weren't like, you have no idea what you're saying, like, the other ones were like, I think you'll like Mob Psycho better. And I'm like, okay, I'm intrigued. I mean, one is a spectacular, genius. That's the reason why he's become such a massive success, so I trust that. And I remember seeing Reigen. So, funnily enough, I guess the show was airing in Japan like summer 2016, so like a good season or so before we even touched it. Mm-hmm. And I guess we missed the boat on the hashtag redraw Reigen craze that was happening with people like taking pictures of stuff and like redrawing Reigen over it or something like that. So, but I knew, like, oh, it's the guy in the business suit. He kind of looks like the dude from Bleach if he got a haircut or something. That's all I knew. So, and I only read for Reigen. And actually, I'm curious, because I don't think I ever asked you this even off mic. Do you remember what the scene was that you did for the Mob audition?
For the Mob? I think it was this one that's coming up.
Oh, with the
his
ceiling crotcher?
First introduction. Well, it was... I think there were two scenes. I think it was... I might be confusing things, but I think it was this scene where he's first introduced that's coming up.
Yeah.
And the fight with Teru, unless that was part of Teru's audition. I can't remember.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, they might have used the same clip for both, for all I know.
They might have. I don't remember.
The way you actually...
I could pull up my email. I probably still have it in there somewhere.
Do a little search.
Yeah.
I think it's okay for us to say this. So whenever we auditioned for Bang Zoom, which is the studio where we did the dub for, which actually, also a fun fact, the reason that we did it there, so this was part of the Crunchyroll Funimation licensing deal.
Yeah.
But Crunchyroll also specifically wanted the One Punch Man staff, which was our lovely voice director Chris Kaysen,
who directed One Punch.
Yes,
so.
and also, by the way, he sends his regards. He was very sad that he couldn't join us for the commentaries we're doing this weekend, but he's awesome. Major shout outs to him. And also we had Mike McFarland, who wrote One Punch Man, and he's written on like Fullmetal Alchemist and One Piece and tons of stuff at Funimation for years. So those two were brought on board, and also just kind of, as it turned out, there were a few cast members that kind of crossed over.
With Max and Eric.
Yeah, and probably a few others I think mixed in there as well.
Yeah.
Although I think it was probably intentional that like Mob and Reigen were like we weren't
part
like
of the core cast of
One Punch. But I remember for Reigen it was two parts. Oh yeah, I didn't finish this thought. So when we audition for Bang Zoom, and if it's for an anime or something like matching audio of a previous language, they'll usually send us some clips as reference to go along with the script, which is really helpful because then we can know the full context of everything. And so usually we get a couple scenes, like, most of the time. So for Reigen, I remember it was from episode 2. It was the scene where he's giving his next sucker, the one played by Chris Kaysen, the back massage with Sorcerer Crush. Yeah. And then I think the second scene was when he's talking to Mob on the telephone about about not believing the bullcrap of the telepathy club when Tomei was trying to sucker him in and all that. And actually, I just remember this because I still have that, like the MP3 somewhere. I said something wrong on it, where I think the last part is like, those are crocodile tears. See through it, Mob. Don't buy into it. But I said, see it through, Mob. And I'm like, wow, I said the line wrong and I still booked it somehow. So, also,
completely changed the intent of the line. Yeah.
And yet somehow I had that level of intensity. I say as he's throwing salt.
Well, it was the last line of the audition, right? They've made their decision in the first 15 seconds. Right?
Also, I love this opening so much. I've been told that apparently there's stuff in this that is referencing parts of the manga that we haven't even gotten up to yet.
That's way later.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Because I think the manga actually was going on for a pretty decent while even before the show got picked up.
I think the manga is way further in the story.
I mean, we're still hoping at some point. I mean, at the time we're recording this, we still don't know anything about if there's going to be more like new episodes.
I feel like there's been. They haven't officially announced anything, but they have said they are working on a season 2 in Japan.
I hope so.
That doesn't mean that we will get to work on it.
Yeah,
it doesn't mean but I feel like it's gonna happen. At some point.
Sure. Well, we've also got I guess. Well, it'll be probably not long after these come out because I think in January the live action Mob Psycho Netflix series that Japan is making is coming out. And actually, the fact that I'll go on record to say the fact that Japan is making it means it'll probably be good.
Hopefully.
Sorry, most American studios that try to make anime adaptations.
The bar has not been they don't have to clear a very high bar.
Yeah, for sure. But nonetheless, so this was. I really love their dynamic. These two. I remember. Oh, actually, so this is reporting
this scene for the audition. I don't remember.
Oh man, I mean, I
don't remember.
It's been so long already.
Yeah, it's been over a year.
But so you're talking about you watched the first episode before we started recording.
Before the audition.
Yeah.
Before recording, I watched the whole thing.
Yeah, same with me.
Once I knew that I'd gotten the gig.
This might be mildly embarrassing, but I'll admit that I do this. Do you practice when you watch stuff ahead of time at all? Or do you actually preserve your throat like a smart person?
Well, like while you're watching the subtitle?
Like, do you ever do lines? Because I totally do that.
No, well, there are times when I'll be sitting there watching the subtitle and looking at the lip flaps and going, that's not going to fit. Or,
that's going to be rewritten.
Or I'll be like, this is how I'd rewrite that line if I were writing the show or whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
As long as it's not screaming, because I'm going to save my energy. I don't tend to.
Yeah, I don't go along with it and shout or say the words along with the show because I want to just enjoy it and watch it.
But by the way, shout outs to Max. Sorry, dude, tough break, Middleman. That became like a meme overnight with the Mob Psycho fandom when this episode first dropped. It was so surreal too because when we were recording. It felt like maybe like a month later, and the episodes were already going up on the FUNimation streaming service.
What was weird was I remember looking up information about the show and the dub, and they had announced that a dub was coming, and they had advertised it as being a simuldub before we had been cast.
Yep.
And so when we started working on it, there was still they hadn't announced a release date or anything. We were like, well, I guess the whole simuldub thing isn't going to happen or whatever. And then all of a sudden they were like, hey, in 3 days the first episode hits FUNimation.
Yep. Yeah, and then we were like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we've joined, I guess, this is one of the few shows I think we've done out here that has matched, what all the folks that work their asses off down in Texas have been doing.
I worked on, were you in Durarara?
No, I was not.
Okay. I worked on that show, and that was
really quick after
a rapid fire.
Yeah.
Thing.
It's becoming more and more of a thing.
Going in for a session on a Tuesday, and then the new episode comes out that Thursday or something.
Yeah, it's amazing because people get it without having to wait long.
Yeah,
but it's insane.
But it doesn't give you a whole lot of time to correct any mistakes that might be there, whatever.
Do you remember much about recording this episode in particular?
This episode?
Because I guess you comparatively you probably didn't have nearly as much.
No, you probably had 4-6 hours worth of sessions on this?
I had
8 hours.
8.5 hours total on just episode one.
I remember looking at the loop count for Reigen, and it's 300 loops in the first episode, and then 20 an episode.
A fraction of that for
no, and then but for Reigen, after episode 1, it's 20 an episode, 30 an episode, whatever, and then the last episode or two.
Yeah, it was insane. I remember because I was talking before about how we were doing this basically right before Thanksgiving. Yeah. And it was I had a whole bunch of people that were coming in from out of town, and there was all this stuff, and it was insane. And I didn't have a second to stop talking Which anybody who knows me, haha,
Yeah.
Chris not talking, what a concept, you know, or whatever.
Right.
But I was like dying, and we started recording on the show, and they had me booked for like multiple sessions over the week for like hours and hours and hours. And by that point, I had also marathoned the whole show, so I knew what I was in for.
Yeah.
But I think I, undersold like just how much in this first one like I had to really do, and I was worried. I'll be perfectly honest. I actually was a little fearful that I might get recast, because that has happened before here and there.
Just because you wouldn't be able to sustain it.
Yeah. Or like, sometimes this is so rare, usually because people don't have the time to do this, but sometimes it just happens where it's like, oh yeah, like it's not quite what we were thinking it was, or it's a little bit different compared to the audition, etc. Because even sometimes like when we go in to do the show, like as soon as we begin, somebody might be like, we're gonna change it a tiny little bit from the audition or whatever, but which I think was a little bit of the case with you, if I'm remembering you talking about that before.
Not exact. That's something. Just listening to it a little bit.
Yeah.
Mob's voice is probably right around here.
Yeah.
At this stage in the show.
Yeah.
And somehow, just gradually over the course of, I think it's probably noticeable around episode 4 or 5 or something, when we started the second chunk.
Yeah.
We'd taken a little bit of time off in between recording or whatever, and then we got back into the booth, and we kind of, I don't know, I don't want to like throw Kaysen under the bus.
Just do it.
But he rightfully thought the voice was funnier when we got it a little bit higher, and so slowly, like, he just kept on directing me into, no, I think the voice is a little higher pitched, and then at some point around like episode 9 or something, we went back and listened to stuff from episode 1.
Yeah.
And went, whoa, we changed things a little bit.
And I mean, that happens.
Nobody said anything.
Sure,
it's okay.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Well, I thought you were going to out him on the comparison he made to a certain.
Oh no, that happened in the first session where just started. Yeah, as soon as I walked in the door, Kaysen was making Michael Jackson references, just quoting Michael Jackson. Okay. And that became a running gag.
I gotta go feed Bubbles.
Yeah.
Oh, you're ignorant.
Tito. Yeah. So that became the reference for setting the voice for.
Yeah. Similarly, I picked up I think pretty early on, and this was not intentional either on my part, but I realized kind of what I was emulating in terms of like a celebrity sound-alike, is I was just kind of channeling my crappy 90s movie era Jim Carrey impressions that I did as a kid, because he's got that very spastic, well, of course you don't understand kind of way of being. I showed this first episode to my parents a while ago, and my mom was like, wow, this guy's like straight out of Wall Street. He's such a jerk. But yeah, so getting back to the earlier part, so just 8.5 hours in 1 week, and I was downing the magical Chinese cough syrup that a lot of voice actors often take to around LA and beyond, to make sure that I could just like still do it. And even I admit, like, in the first couple episodes, there's a couple parts where I'm like, I was clearly not like 100% like vocally, like I couldn't scream as loud as I wanted to or whatever. And God bless Kaysen too, because he was so patient. There were probably a few moments in these earlier episodes where I kept being like, just one more take, one more take, Chris, please. He's like, dude, we got it, we're good. We got a good one. And I'm like, okay, I just really wanted to be good. No.
See, and I compare Kaysen to what I hear is Clint Eastwood's style of direction, where it's that, no, we got it. We're moving on. You don't need to do that. We don't need to hound the same line over and over again. No, we got it. Go.
Yeah. He's a master of also like taking the perfect elements of just the right takes together. And also our awesome engineer June, who was a badass this entire show. This is a good attack.
I don't.
Just banishing Saw Punch is a classic. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say. I think June was the engineer from start to finish on this show, wasn't he?
I think maybe we had some fill-ins like here and there, but for the most part, it was
hard to remember a year later.
Yeah. But no, June was great. Casey was great. And actually, I want to give some credit to the people like above us were super cool about this because like we had like one gentleman I can't remember his name. Who was on the phone with us from Crunchyroll when we did like the first episode.
Yeah, for like the first hour of my first session. He was like, yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, goes like, have fun. And then same thing with our casting director, Mommy, was like, go for it.
Yeah,
like,
have fun with it. Just do your thing.
And like that's actually like becoming more rare. I think it's okay to say that. Like it's it's becoming more common that like we'll have clients like a lot more directly involved, like in the room, like overseeing sessions, which is perfectly fine.
Sure, you want them to be happy. Obviously, they're the ones cutting the check.
Yeah.
But
it's nice to have freedom sometimes.
It can be really fun. And on a show like this, I feel like I don't know. Somehow it makes more sense on a show like this.
It's led itself. I think actually because it's. I mean, there's definitely like some really serious moments, but like it led itself really well to the comedy. And also, Chris is so good with comedic stuff. Like.
Oh yeah,
so I think that was just to everybody's strong suits in a way,
right?
And I think it served it really well because all the I kept a close eye on like the response and like some of the fandom and stuff, and everybody overall has really enjoyed how this dub turned out. Because like there was a lot of pressure on One Punch Man. There was probably also maybe if not the same amount, but a pretty decent amount of pressure on this show to be good. And I'm super proud of like the work that like everybody did on this show.
I love how it turned out.
Yeah.
Going back and watching it, I think that's a little pat on our backs. I think we did a good job. Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
Actually, I want to tell a little story. I've never told this anywhere before, like at a con or anything.
Okay.
So a friend of mine, her name is Gina. She was a big fan of the show before I knew anything about it. Completely separately from anything, she had mentioned to me, you know what, Chris, you make a really good voice of Reigen. I didn't take this seriously at all. I was even like, I don't even really book leads very often, like, whatever, And then, unbeknownst to her, I got the audition, and then I booked it, and then the day that it was announced, and she just hadn't seen yet, I remember this was awful to me. I remember like calling her up on Skype one time, and I was like, I wanted to apologize for like turning down your like confidence in me, like and she was just like, no, it's okay. And I'm like, no, like when you said that like I would be a really good voice for Reigen, and I thought that like no, you were wrong, and I would never get it, and then I got it, and she was like, what? No. So that was my big reveal and etc. And I owe her a lot because she was the one who first told me about the show, and then I binged the whole thing ahead of time because I really wanted to like put a lot of love into this, and I try to do that with a lot of shows, when we're able to, if it's available in Japanese to watch ahead of time.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, I could tell there was something really special about this one, and I fell in love with all the characters. I think Mob is a really good protagonist to begin with.
He's a lot of fun.
He's a sweetheart.
I think the fight scene we just saw was the first time I noticed just how little Mob makes noise during fights, because it was like, oh wait, did we kill the monster already?
It's like, oh, it's over.
And,
we did it.
And Cason's like, yeah, we did. And I was like, I don't make any noise when that happens.
Nope.
No, you don't. Okay.
Oh Lord. Well, that's episode 1.
Is it?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
We're kind of going into the end.
There's so many more things I wanted to talk about.
I know. Well, we're doing a couple episodes together here. We're going to be actually joined by a few more friends in the following one. But yeah, I mean, just to everybody out there, like, and also, well, first of all, thank you for hopefully, if you're watching as I intend, either watching it on the Funimation streaming site or on if you bought the Blu-ray with all the cool special stuff and everything.
Excellent decision.
Yeah, an excellent. I see what you did there. You got any last words for the folks listening?
Just thank you guys for your support and for supporting the show, and keep letting us know that you love it, and more importantly letting like Funimation and Crunchyroll know that you love it, so
and
that
Bones
we can do more.
Yes, everybody, because we would We would certainly love to do more at some point, fingers crossed. But and also I will say these last episode previews coming up in a second were extraordinarily difficult, and yet again, Kaysen and June were magicians that we managed to pull them off. But yeah, so all right, everybody, we'll see you in the next one, joined by a couple other lovely people, and thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.